This problem is solving an equation using the quadratic method. And what we're going to do in this case is we're going to use what's called a u-substitution. If you know about quadratic equations, you can kind of see this pattern here. And it looks a lot like this. It looks a lot like u squared plus u minus 42 equals 0. And that's because if we're saying the square root of x is u, then when we square both of these, this squared and this squared, you're going to get this first term. Okay, so you will get u squared and you will get x, right? Square root of x squared is x. All right, so using that u, once we put it in terms of u, knowing that u is the square root of x, once we put it in terms of u, then we can factor. This one is pretty nice at factors. If you need some work on factoring, go take a look at some factoring videos. But this one's what we call an easy one, because it starts with the number 1. And if it's an easy one, the first two parts are u and u. And the second two parts need to multiply to give me 42. And they are going to subtract to give me a plus 1. So what two numbers multiply to give me 42? That would subtract to give me a 1, and that's a 7 and a 6. 7 and a 6. And then we have to find out that if we are going to have a plus 1, the larger one has to be positive, and the smaller one has to be negative. And now we have these two binomials that equal 0. We know if any things that are multiplied give you 0, either one of them can be 0, because 0 times anything is 0, or anything times 0 is 0. So once we have it factored, any one of those factors can equal 0, which we're going to do here. So u plus 7 can be 0, and u minus 6 can be 0, in which case u equals, subtract 7 from both sides, negative 7, and u equals, add 6 to both sides, 6. So now we know what u can be. U can be a negative 7, and u can be a positive 6. Looking at the original equation, though, we know that u was just something we borrowed that represents the square root of x. So now we have the square root of x equals negative 7, and the square root of x equals 6. So to find out what x is, we're going to square both sides, check it, that's right, square both sides, we will have to check it. Squaring both sides right here is going to give me x equals negative 7 times negative 7 is a positive 49. Squaring both sides over here gives me x equals, let's see, 6 squared is 36. So here's my two possible answers. Now what we need to do is we need to check it. Let's see if I have enough room on this page. No, let me see if I can go to another page. So going back to the original equation, x plus square root of x minus 42 equals 0. Let's go ahead and check these two numbers that we got for x. So one of the answers we got for x was 36. So x plus the square root of x minus 42 equals 0. And we're going to plug in that 36 here and that 36 here. So 36 plus, what's the square root of 36? 6 minus 42 equals 0. And that gives me that 42 minus 42 equals 0. 0 equals 0, and that certainly checks out. All right. So that's one of my answers. I know that 36 is one of my answers. Now let's try to plug in the other one. See if I can fit it over here. Now I'm going to have x plus square root of x minus 42 equals 0. All right, and what am I plugging in now? I'm plugging in the other answer that I got, the other possible answer, which is 49. And let me do that in blue. So I'll plug in a 49 here and a 49 here. So now I see that 49 plus the square root of 49 is 7 minus 42 equals 0, which is 56 49 plus 7 is 56, minus 42 equals 0. Look what happens. Does 14 equal 0? No. Okay, so this is not an answer, right? So 49, I'm going to have to throw it away. So when I go back and I look at my two possible answers, there's only one of them that really comes up as an answer, 49. This one, I apologize, not 49. What's the one that worked? 36. Yeah, 36 worked. This one works. This one cannot be the answer, right? X cannot be 49 because it didn't check out. Every time you square a radical, you must check it.